Altered Songbook Watercolor Journal, Part 2. This is going to take more than a two-part series. As I was working on the signatures today, I discovered that it might be helpful to split the technique of flattening the watercolor paper into a separate video, so those of you who want a better understanding of the process I use can watch it in real time rather than fast forward. I will upload that video immediately after this one, so if you are interested, watch for it. In this video, Part 2, I add some finishing touches to the cover, trim and flatten the signatures in fast forward, and discuss a bit about the cost and benefit of making a watercolor journal instead of buying one. In Part 3, the signatures will be bound into the journal. Hi, I am really happy with how my watercolor art journal is turning out. There is one thing, though, that I really don't like, and that's that brown line right underneath of those ABC typographical print block letters there on that fabric. So I am going to cover them. You can see I'm using some double-sided score tape. And the reason I'm using double-sided score tape is that I am going to cover that with a French script washi tape that is black. So I'm going to do this on both the front and the back, and you'll see where I also do some outlining on those front and back cover pages. So I'm going to go into fast forward and work on that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the signatures. Now I'm just working on securing that score tape down to the book, making sure everything's nice and tight on the fabric, and I get out my black. It's not a washi tape, but it's a black tape with a white script printed on it. I really do like it. I think it goes with this book. And now I'm just attaching it to the score tape, thinking that the score tape is going to hold it to the book. Now I'm doing the same thing on the back, applying the double-sided score tape, buffing it down and removing the backing paper, putting the black tape over it, and then trimming it up. I think that score tape is going to be strong enough to hold it on the inside of the book there. Now I decide that the front and back inside covers where those maps are need to be enhanced a little bit more, so I get out my ruler and the black Sharpie marker and draw double lines along all four borders of both pages. I just really think that makes a nice presentation of the cover. I'm really happy with how this cover is turning out. Okay, now that I've done some touch-ups to this album, I put this washi tape along the border of the binding. I like this a lot better. I really like how this turned out. And I drew lines around the end papers here, the front cover and the back cover. I'm really liking how this is turning out. I am ready to cut the folios and arrange them into signatures and bind them into this journal. What I have here, and I can only show it to you, I have this big roll of watercolor paper. I got this as Hobby Lobby. It's 48 inches by 5 yards. Wow, that is so cool. Now, this is priced at $29.99, which is $30, and I can tell you I probably got it with a 40% coupon, and so 40% off of $30 would be $12, I believe, if my figures are correct. So that means that I paid approximately $18 for this. I cut the folios pages offline. I had to take that long row into an area where I have more space. I separate them into 4 signatures of 4 folios each, and each folio has 4 pages for a total of 16 pages per signature. I have 4 signatures for a total of 64 pages in the watercolor art journal. What I'm doing here is trimming the top and the side borders of each one of my signatures so that all the pages are nice and even. And it's really important to have a sharp knife while you're doing this. You see I snap off my blade there? It just makes everything so much easier. Now if you've ever cut watercolor paper off of a roll of watercolor paper, you know what a challenge that is. And even after you've cut all your folios and have all your signatures arranged, that paper still takes on the natural curve of being wrapped around that roll. And what you want to do is flatten it out. Now, I did a little research on methods to do this. The best site I found was a page on the Strathmore paper site, and I will put a link to that in the description box below. I don't know how long it'll be out there, but I will link to it. I kind of adapted what I'm doing here, which is basically just misting my folio with water and then holding it down with the ruler to kind of hold it in place, and then I'm heating it up with my heat gun. Something like what you would do if you were working with a Manila tag. You know how you moisten that tag maybe with ink, with spray ink, and then you heat it and it will flatten out again. Well, the same thing applies here. I am going to put up a real-time video of this step right after this one if you want to see this in real time and hear me talk about it in slow motion rather than just fast forwarding through this, just so you can get a sense of what I'm going through to create these signatures. So I do that for all 4 signatures. I'll put them under a big heavy stack of books, and then I'll have them ready to bind into my journal tomorrow. Okay, I just wanted to say that I was comparing the costs here, and I estimated that if I bought my paper by the sheet, the same type, Canson 140 pound, if I paid retail for it, it cost me about $3.60 a sheet. And I estimated to get a 64-page art journal that is 8 3/4 by 11 3/4, 64 pages, that I would need 8 sheets of these. If I had 8 sheets of these alone, if I bought them retail, I would be paying just about $29 just for the paper, for me making it. Now if I buy it in a large roll, I need 2 yards to do the same thing. I pay just about the same price, $30, but if I discount it, and I'm only using 2 yards, it costs me just about the same price for a yard that it does for a sheet. So $7.20, and I need 2 yards, it costs me about $14. Now I did go out and search, and I searched on Amazon to see if I could find any watercolor art journals out there that are hardbound art journals approximately this size. And I did find something, and this comes and goes, but I did find one today as I'm looking at it, but it's 8.5 by 11, which is approximately the same size. I've got 8 3/4 by 11 3/4, so it's approximately the same size. And they're selling it for retail, they sell it for $30, which is about this price, which is what I estimated for the paper here. They discounted it $7, so they're selling it for just about $23 today. But you're still, $14 is almost half of this price. If they discount it to $23, you're still paying less for this. And who knows, this price can go up and down, and you may get it, you may not. And you have the experience of figuring all of this out and learning how to cut your paper off of a roll. Not only that, you've got 3 yards of watercolor paper left to do other projects. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy with what I'm doing, and just this entire experience has been a good learning experience for me. I will see you on the next page.